Alright guys, we're back here with the 68 quarter that I put on. Got it finished. Got a couple little small things left to do, but one of the other videos for the process of actually welding the quarter on is messed up. So all I can give you right now is where it is right now, but we got a few more things to do. The car's totally not done yet, but that one over there, that's my car I've had for, I don't know, forever it seems like. I completely redid this car. That is a 1968 coupe as well, and it was totally trashed when I bought that car. It was hitting this side. I put this whole quarter side, wheel wells, everything on this car has been replaced except for the roof skin. Pretty much everything on this car is brand new. Brand new metal, brand new frame rails, new engine, rear end, everything. Interior. This car, on the other hand, it's the one I've started on just in the last few months. It's nowhere near as bad, but it did have some rust and stuff in the wheel wells here, which I have some pictures I should be able to put in this video so you guys can see it. But I don't know, I just love this kind of stuff. I love doing the metal work, and it's super easy if you got patience, which my patience are getting better. They're not great, but you know, still got to do a little work to the deck lid, and it's got a little bit of body work, not bad. Put this quarter on also. It's not a full quarter. This is just half of a quarter. You can see right here, this is original metal, but I cut the old quarters and put them in like halfway down through right here. So all this down here, all the way down through there, is brand new metal. But yeah, just wanting y'all to giving you an update video of how the car looks. I'll turn you around here. There you go, that's a little better. But yeah, somewhere about right in here, I cut the old quarter all the way across the car and all the way through the door jamb. And everything from here, there's a very, very thin layer of Bondo body fillers there here, so you can't see the seam. Get the key, I'll show you the seam on the inside, which I haven't finished the inside. And it's got all the way down through the door jamb. All this is new. Redid all that as well. This is original to the car. Interior's not bad. It just needs to be really cleaned up, honestly. I am going to get a carpet for it, but let's see if we can see I don't have much light in here. Actually, I just come out here to the shop. And I don't even know which key it is. Oh, yes. Does forward. Round key. Yeah, those things are like spring. And so you can see there's a new wheel well over there. This is the outer wheel well. I replaced this. This is original. There's no rust or anything in it. This is, of course, a new skin. If you look, I don't know if you can see it, but yeah, there's the seam. All the way down the side of the car. On the inside, you can see it, which you won't when I get done with it. And, of course, out here, I don't know if you can get up there to look. Can't see none of that. Of course, this is just lacquer primer just to cover up the metal and stuff. Bodywork is good, though. It should be ready for paint when I finish. I gotta do a final sand on it. And I did this one same way. This wheel well was rotted out, so I put a new one in there, left the original, new quarter skin, and of course you can see the lip from this is the original up here. That's the original metal, and this is the metal that I replaced, the new quarter skin. And it's got, of course, this deck lid did not come on the car. That's might actually be on that car over there. Or there's one in the corner back there. I don't know if you can see it. There's one back there. But anyways, yeah, it's just a quick update video of the car. Got the new rear end in it. This was a 4-lug car, which I changed all that. It is now, of course, 5-lug, because let's just face it, you got better styles of wheel when you go with 5-lug, stuff like that. And I think they're going to fit this car. It needs to come down a little bit. It fits the car really well. redid all the brakes and stuff, painted the drums. This is drum brakes. Of course, this is just a 6-cylinder car. It's not going to be a race car like this one over here is. This one, it's my baby. I've had it for a long time, but it's a little bit more radical, that one, versus this is more of a stock, everyday driver. Something to go get ice cream in or something. But yeah, I'm really pleased with it. The lines look really good as far as the, so what you call the C-stripe. All Mustangs in the 60s had this somewhat same C-stripe down through the body line. And it's really a pain in the butt if to get those to line back up, because you can adjust the door. The door can be adjusted as well as the front fender. But the quarter, on the other hand, once it's welded on there, you can't do nothing with it. If you weld it on there wrong to begin with, your gap from the door to the quarter, you can make right most of the time. But once you get up here about 2 or 3 foot, and this gap between the fender and the door starts getting a little wonky, because you got gaps up here that's got to be right, you got gaps here that's got to be right, and all of it starts at the quarter, because once the quarter's on there, that's what you line the door and the fenders up to, because those are adjustable. So when you do something like this, you got to make sure that you get all the body lines right, because it really helps your finished product look good. You can stand back 30 foot from the car in a parking lot, and you can look down the whole side of it and see this line, and you'll see like it'll just come to the door gap right there, and it'll shrink, or it'll be low, or it'll be high, and you come back here and it'll be low or high, or even like up here, the door will be sticking way up above the quarter, or vice versa. The quarter will be sticking way up and the door will be lower down, trying to get these gaps to match. Doesn't sound hard, but it's very difficult, and that's where the patience part comes in. But yeah, quick update video. Like I said, I'm trying to figure out if I can salvage the video of actually welding all this on and doing the body work, which I don't know. I'm trying, but it's not looking good. But as of right now, that's the stage that it's at right now. And we've got other plans coming for this car, as well as this car over here. I got engine plans for this. This is going to be, of course, you see how dusty it is. Been sitting in here for most of the summer, and this was a factory 6-cylinder 4-lug car too as well. But I put the Monte Carlo bar in there. This apron, this is what they call the fender well apron. There's actually 3 pieces. There's this piece, the shock tower piece, which is the shock tower. This whole big piece that the shock and everything bolts to. And this is the rear one. These are original on this car, except for this one. If you find a Mustang in the 60s, guarantee you this is where the battery, of course, sits from factory. They always rust out from the acid or whatever else. So you find a car that's been redone and that's not replaced, the car stayed inside its whole life. And I can show you, there's actually some parts for this car right here as well. What I'm talking about with the rust on the battery aprons, this is exactly the same car. That car and this car is exactly the same as far as body style and year. Now, you probably cannot see this, but I don't really want to take the battery out. Of course, there's no battery tray in here. The battery's just kind of sitting here. So I move this over. Yep, you see that hole? I go straight to the ground. That's what I'm talking about. All these cars, they always rust right there at the shock tower panels. All of them, as well as under the battery right there. Of course, this one's got it both sides. Right there and right there. But this is the East Coast too, so cars over here on the East Coast are a little bit more eaten up with rust than something that you'd find out west. But I've done several of these cars as far as body work and what has to be replaced. Everything underneath this car is brand new. Floorboards, frame rails, everything. I mean, everything is brand new on this car, sheet metal wise. This is actually a new old stock Ford hood, but I bought that at a swap meet. Did not come on this car. That's a pretty rare hood, depending on who you ask, a Ford person, because if you noticed, a 1968 Mustang like this and like that one usually come with the hood that has the signal lights made in right here on both sides. They're like little vents and they have signal lights on them. This car over here has that hood. See what I mean? And they say that the flat hood is a whole lot more rare than this hood, which I believe, because I've seen a lot of these cars and very rarely have I ever seen them with a flat hood. And see, there's another one I have against the wall. It also has the signal lights made into it. But I'm not a Ford Mustang guru. These are my absolute favorite cars. I think they were ahead of their time when they were designed and built, because you take anything from the 60s or the 30s, the 40s, the 50s, all the brands look the same. You know, you could almost take fenders off of a 1940 Plymouth and put them on a 1940 Ford. But even in the 60s, a Pontiac Firebird looked exactly like a 60s model Camaro. These, you did not confuse with anything. You saw these cars, you knew what they are. You knew that they were Mustangs, because none of the other manufacturers took styling cues from these cars. They did their own. Mustang stepped outside the box. And that's why I liked them so much, and I just feel like they were ahead of their time as far as designs. Now, a lot of people don't like Mustangs, but, you know, to each his own. I like everything. I have actually 4 or 5 of these Mustangs. You know, I have a import. I mean, that's a Suzuki. And then, of course, I got the Behemoth here. This is my old 6-blow. My 6.0 King Ranch. I mean, nothing but good truck. Had no trouble with it whatsoever. It's had all the work done to it, of course, which I'd done when I bought it, or the guy that I knew, he done most of it, and then I did some other finish up stuff. And of course, I have a Chevrolet sitting in my driveway as well. It's my daily driver right there. So I drive back and forth to work. So don't blow up the comments about me being, you know, all a Ford loser or whatever. I like anything. I like everything old. It doesn't matter what it is. Pontiac, Chevrolet, Dodge. I love old cars. But I drive, you know, I own almost one of everything. So I don't throw rocks at any of them. But these cars right here, of course the fastback, which this car is not. These are both coupes. They're just beautiful cars. So yeah, that's just a small little update on this car and the progress it's in. And again, I'm sorry, stupid video is having so much trouble keeping it going as far as the videos getting corrupted or something somehow. But yeah, that's where it's at. It's not that bad of a deal to do if you're thinking about taking on a project or something like this. I'm just going to tell you, it's patience. You have to have patience when it comes to dealing with sheet metal and bodywork. Bondo, you know, if I didn't tell you, and I'm not trying to toot my own horn or nothing, but if I didn't tell you that I had done bodywork, you know, all the way down the side of this whole seam, there's a whole seam, just like you seen inside earlier, goes all the way down the car. If I didn't tell you that, would you really have known, other than the primer that's here? Of course, there's no primer down here, because I just wanted to check my bodywork to see how good it actually was, or how good it looks for the first, you know, stage or whatever, as far as, you know, getting it hidden and everything. And I think it looks good. I'm not a professional. I did work in a restoration shop when I got out of high school doing this kind of stuff, working on cars and painting cars and doing fabrication with sheet metal, all that kind of stuff. But I only done it for 1.5 years, but I love cars my whole life. But if you're thinking about doing something like this, if there's a car, Camaro, I don't care what it is, it don't have to be a Mustang. I just know a lot about Mustangs because that's what I like. But you, for sure, can do this. As long as you have patience, buy good quality metal. Because on this car over here, I done years ago, I bought 3 quarter panels for this car, and had to send them back because they were junk. They were absolute junk. They didn't fit right. One of them was like that much too short from when you put it on the car. It was like that much too short from lining up in the door jamb. So it was a headache. It was terrible. So I saved up a lot more money and bought full quarters. That car actually has full quarters on it, which these are skins, I told you. So they just come up to here. Now full quarter, these cars are put together right here in the sail panel from the factory. The roof comes down to here, and the quarter panel, this is all one piece, all the way down through here, all one piece, all the way up to into here. And they're seamed together right through here, which is exactly how I done that car. It's got the body work right here on the sail panel and not down all the way across the quarter like this car is here. So buy good quality parts and you'll save yourself a lot of headache. You'll save yourself a lot of time of cussing and beating and bending and all kinds of just headache. Just trust me. Just buy good panels, good quality parts. Everything for Mustangs I buy comes from CJ Ponies. They have the best. They're in Pennsylvania. You know, I've tried different companies. The floorboards in this car actually come from Mustangs Unlimited, which they are no longer in business, sadly. They was a great company too. Not sure what made them go under, but this car doesn't need floorboards or anything like that. All it needs is the quarters and wheel wells that I've done and those couple little places up under the front there I showed you. So yeah, take it from me. You know, you can do this kind of stuff if you get out there. You don't need a garage. I started out in my friend's garage in his grandma's gravel driveway doing that car. Okay? Doing that car. I don't know if I had a photo album. When I was 12 years old, I bought that car. I didn't start working on it until I was like 13 or 14 because I had to save up money. You know, I didn't have no money. I did all this myself. But you don't need a garage to do this stuff. You don't need an air compressor, stuff like that. You can do it by hand to start out. You can do it. It's not the end of the world. You get a cutoff wheel on a grinder, and you can make the same cuts. Make them a little bit, you know, don't cut on the line that you want it to be. Cut a little bit below it. That way you can grind it up to the line where you want it to be perfect. Because let's just face it, we're all humans. We all shake. So if you're trying to cut this piece of metal completely straight with a grinder, chances are you're not going to be able to do that. And then you're going to have a line that goes wonkety, wonkety, wonkety. And it's not going to be any good. And you've got to do a whole lot more grinding and welding and all that kind of stuff. So get out there, do it. Find you a project. It doesn't have to be perfect. I mean, these cars are not, I wouldn't consider, you know, show quality. I mean, they're not like Barrett Jackson type cars, but this car, when I bought it, there was nothing here. This whole gray area on the side, the quarter panel, was not there. I drug it home. My friend hauled it home for me, and there was nothing there. My dad was mad, okay? He was mad. He's like, I don't care what you paid for that car or where you got it. Take it back to where you got it and get your money back. You're not keeping that. There's no way you're ever going to fix it. But look at it. In the driveway behind our house and at my friend's grandma's house, it progressed. And now it's a completely running, driving car. And, you know, when I bought it, you know, it wasn't worth near what I paid for it. But